Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This video is the first of a two-part series on how to rewire your brain with mindfulness meditation. In today's video, we will explore how mindfulness meditation affects the brain and how it can help us with anxiety. In next week's video, I will share with you a mindfulness meditation technique to help you reduce your anxiety, but you will also be able to use this technique to heal and transform other challenges in your life. If you are interested in mindfulness and meditation, consider subscribing to my channel. Every week I post a new video on these topics and I show you how you can apply these tools in your daily life. And if you don't want to miss anything, make sure to click on the bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Anxiety is a very common experience that we all have on a daily basis. We experience anxiety when we pay bills or when we have a job interview or a presentation to give. In most cases, anxiety is normal, it's fine and it's healthy. But in some cases, anxiety can become overwhelming and in that case become a disorder that can prevent us from enjoying life or even functioning at all. I remember myself when I was a student being so anxious about the homeworks and the exams that I had panic attack where I could barely breathe in my bed. So today's video is about understanding anxiety, why we feel so easily anxious and where does it come from, and also how mindfulness meditation can help rewire the neural networks in our brain to help us reduce anxiety. Hi, my name is Olivier and I am a mindfulness meditation teacher. I have taught mindfulness meditation to hundreds of working professionals, which has helped them to not only reduce their stress, but also perform better at work, have healthier relationships, and overall feeling happier. And now I am sharing all this content with you in the hope that you will benefit from it as well. To understand why we are so prone to anxiety, we have to look at the evolution of the human species. A few million years ago, our ancestors lived in a far more dangerous environment than the one that we lived in today. In order for them to survive and pass on their genes, they had to pay great attention to the possible threats around them. They had to pay more attention to the possible dangers rather than the rewards. Because if they were to miss a meal one day, they can still have a meal the day after. But if they were to be attacked by a rival group or by a predator, then the chances to have the second meal was far more less. So this conditioning of paying more attention to the negatives rather than the positive is known as the negativity bias and has been passed on to us through evolution. An example of the negativity bias in our world today is, for example, you are giving a presentation to 10 people. 9 of them look genuinely interested in what you're saying and engaged. But one person on the side has his arm crossed and look completely disinterested in what you're saying. Where is your attention going to be? Is it going to be on the 9 people or is it going to be on this one person? Most likely, your attention is going to be focused on this one person and you're going to wonder, why is this person behaving like this? Am I saying something wrong? Am I not interested in my presentation? So this is an example of the negativity bias. It is an unconscious bias that makes us pay more attention to the negatives rather than the positives. The negativity bias in itself is very useful. It has helped our ancestors to survive and has helped us as well to survive. But today, the environment in which we live in, for most of us, is not as dangerous. But the negativity bias is still operating in the background of our consciousness. So it is important to be mindful of it so that we don't let it color our experience with negativity. So how can mindfulness help us decondition this natural mechanism that we inherited from our ancestors? Now that we understand where our anxiety comes from, how does mindfulness meditation help us rewire our brain to fight our anxiety. Over the past 20 years, neuroscientists across the world from world-renowned medical schools such as Harvard or Stanford or University of Wisconsin-Madison have made a key discovery which is called neuroplasticity. And what that means is that our brain is just like any other muscle that we have. If we exercise it, if we train it, we can grow or reduce the size of certain areas of the brain. So let me illustrate how neuroplasticity works. Say you are learning a new song and a new instrument. Probably at the beginning, you will have to look at a note and then look at how you place your finger on the instrument to play it. And you're gonna have to do this note by note by note. But after a few days or a few weeks, you will be able to play the song without looking at the sheet of music. That means that every time you look at a note, you played it, you start to establish a neural connection. And as you play it day after day after day, you start to create more neural connection so that at the end you could access all this information without looking at the sheet of music, but just by remembering it. Mindfulness meditation can also be seen as a brain training. Neuroscientists have found that mindfulness meditation affects different parts of the brain. One of them is the prefrontal cortex, located right behind our forehead right here. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for our ability to think, to reason, to plan, and to focus. Another areas of the brain affected by mindfulness meditation is the amygdala, the alarm bell of our brain. The amygdala is responsible for our response in face of a threat, to either fight it or run away from it. It is also responsible for our anxiety, for worries, and our fears. So researchers have found that mindfulness meditation densifies the neural networks in our prefrontal cortex, but also reduces the size of the amygdala. And what that means is that it enhances our ability to think and to focus, but also lowers our triggers to react. From a practice point of view, it also makes sense how mindfulness meditation can help us reduce our anxiety. When we practice mindful breathing, and if you are new to it, you can check out my playlist in the descriptions below. Our intention is to stay connected with the breath. And every time we have a thought and we notice it, we just let it go and come back to the breath. You can see that this is a training of our brain, of our attention, to stay connected to the present moment and to not let our mind run in the future and ruminate on our worries and fuel our anxiety. By practicing mindful breathing, we are strengthening our brain, our ability to stay connected and focus on the present moment. So if you struggle with anxiety and enjoy the content of this video, please leave a like below and type in the comment the word breathe to let me know that you found this content helpful. Be sure to also listen to my guided meditation that you can download for free by subscribing to my newsletter at peaceful-breathing.com/meditations. Mindfulness meditation is not only paying attention to our breathing, it is a practice to transform the difficulties in our life to live more free. And so next week I will share with you a meditation technique that you can apply to anxiety, but also that you can apply to other difficulties in your life. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.